What if shame is physically amplifying your pain right now? Research shows shame doesn't just feel bad. It creates real inflammation in your body. Today, I'll reveal how shame and pain share the same neural pathways and show you how 3 people broke free from this hidden cycle using techniques you can start today. No expensive specialists needed. If you find this evidence-based channel helpful, please like and subscribe. Greetings, it's nice to see you again, and those here for the first time, you're very welcome. Today we're tackling the shame-pain connection that keeps many trapped in chronic pain. This isn't about adding guilt, it's about identifying the neurobiological cycle you can break immediately with simple, accessible strategies. Here's the science stripped down. Your brain processes shame and physical pain in the very same regions. When you feel ashamed about your condition, your body releases cortisol, creating actual inflammation that amplifies pain signals. Shame literally makes your nervous system more sensitive to pain signals. This creates a very devastating loop. Pain causes limitations, limitations trigger shame, shame intensifies pain. Breaking this cycle can create immediate physiological relief. Let me show you how 3 people broke their cycle of their shame and pain. Rebecca, 42, once thrived as an emergency room nurse until fibromyalgia forced her into long-term disability. I became an expert at hiding, she reported. As a medical professional, the shame of not being able to heal myself was crushing. She withdrew from everyone, which only intensified her pain and shame. The breaking point, she shared, I couldn't pick up my daughter from school during a severe flare. The shame hit harder than the pain. I realized I was teaching my daughter that vulnerability was a weakness. Rebecca discovered targeted self-compassion through a free online workshop. She said, I'd place a hand on my heart during pain flares and say, this is hard, others feel this too. I deserve kindness right now. It felt artificial at first, but soon she noticed her pain intensity dropped after those moments. Everything changed for her when she finally told her friends the truth about her pain instead of making excuses. Not only were they completely supportive, but the relief of being honest actually reduced her pain. Their acceptance was the medicine she didn't know she needed. While Rebecca's journey involved reaching out to others, our next story shows how challenging shame-based thoughts can be just as powerful. Marshall, 56, built his identity on physical strength as the owner of a successful landscaping business. When chronic back pain from degenerative disc disease struck, shame quickly followed. My entire worth was tied to outworking everyone, Marshall shared. When I couldn't even load equipment, I pushed through excruciating pain rather than ask for help. I'd rather damage my body than face the shame. After selling his business, Marshall spiraled. I'd literally hide from former clients, he confessed, then added, the shame narrative in my head was relentless. I was just a burden now. His game changer came through a simple thought record exercise he found in a pain recovery workbook. He explained, I wrote down, I'm useless now that I can't work, and had to find evidence for and against this belief. I realized I was equating physical capacity with human worth. Marshall began systematically challenging these thoughts while reconnecting with non-physical values. I started mentoring young landscapers. Sharing decades of business knowledge made me feel valuable again in an entirely new way. The pain didn't disappear, Marshall says, but I separated the physical sensations from this shame story I attached to it. That's when both began to improve. While Marshall found his breakthrough by challenging his thoughts, our final story shows how mindful awareness created a turning point for someone with visible pain symptoms. Jay Shree, 35, a software developer, developed complex regional pain syndrome, or CRPS, after a workplace accident. Her swollen, affected limb became her secret shame. I constructed my entire life around hiding, she explained. Long sleeves in the summer, declining lunch invitations, exhausting myself to appear normal at work. The shame was more debilitating than the actual pain. The shame sabotaged her treatment. She went on to admit that her doctor had prescribed gentle movement exercises to do throughout the day, but she wouldn't do them at her desk for fear of colleagues noticing. At home, she'd overcompensate and push too hard, causing major setbacks. Her focused new activity became her turning point. She downloaded a free pain recovery app and tried a simple guided exercise. It asked her to notice what thoughts came up when she focused on her pain. She reported she heard her own voice saying, "I'm defective," and "I'm less than." That moment changed everything. She suddenly realized she wasn't just feeling pain, she was attaching a shame story to it. She developed a 5-minute daily practice separating pain sensations from shame thoughts. Then came exposure. She started by simply rolling up one sleeve in a meeting. When no one reacted with disgust as she feared, it shattered her shame narrative. "Now I still have pain," Jay Shree explained, "but without the shame amplifying it, my nervous system has finally begun to calm down. My pain levels have decreased by 30% without any medication changes." Now, let me share some simple strategies that can help break this shame cycle. First, shame is detection. Set a phone alert twice a day labeled shame check. When it rings, ask, "Is shame present right now? Where do I feel it in my body?" Just naming shame reduces cortisol within minutes. Step 2, 30-second reset. When shame spikes, place one hand where you feel pain and one over your heart. This is difficult. Millions with pain feel this same shame. "I deserve kindness right now." This triggers oxytocin release, naturally counteracting pain signals. And here's step 3, strategic disclosure. This week, tell just one safe person one truth about your pain you've been hiding. Research shows that safe disclosure can reduce both shame and physiological stress responses that amplify pain. To be clear, this isn't about adding think positive to your pain recovery checklist. This is about dismantling a neurobiological cycle that physically is amplifying your pain signals. When you address shame, you're not just changing your thoughts, you're changing your physiology. Please try one technique from today's video this week. And remember, your pain is a medical condition, not a moral failing or a measure of your worth. So it's bye for now, and I'm wishing you a comfortable week.